There's a comment that shows up under almost every Melissa Vargas highlight, every MVP moment, every clip of her dropping a ball on the line while 3 blockers stand there useless. It doesn't matter if it's a good match or a historic one. Someone, somewhere, is going to write it. She's not even Turkish. And every single time, it still gets under my skin, even after years of watching this woman carry a national team on her back. Here's what actually happened, in case anyone forgot. Melissa Vargas was born in Cuba, playing for the Cuban national team as a teenager, already one of the most gifted attackers her generation had produced. She was exiled by the Cuban Federation. Not traded, not released, exiled, cut off from the sport in her own country. Turkey gave her a home. Fenerbahce gave her a team. And in 2021, she became a Turkish citizen, legally, under FIV eligibility rules that dozens of other athletes across dozens of other countries use every single year, without anyone questioning whether they belong. So why does the comment keep coming back? Because it was never really about the paperwork. Part of it is old-fashioned sports tribalism. There's a certain kind of fan who believes a national team should only ever be homegrown talent, built from youth academies up, nothing bought, nothing imported. And when that fan watches Vargas destroy their team's defense point after point, it's easier to say, well, she doesn't really count, than to admit their team just got beaten by one of the best opposite hitters alive. It's not really an argument. It's a coping mechanism dressed up as a principle. Then there's the layer that's much harder to talk about honestly, because it isn't really about volleyball at all. The Turkish women's national team has become a lightning rod inside Turkey's own culture, caught between a country that's proud of what these women have achieved and a more conservative slice of the public that's uncomfortable with everything the team represents. The uniforms, the confidence, and yes, the fact that players like Vargas and Eber Karakurt are openly part of the LGBTQ+ community. For some critics, questioning Vargas's Turkishness isn't really about Cuba. It's a socially acceptable way of saying something less acceptable out loud. And there's a broader anxiety sitting underneath all of it too. Migration is a genuinely tense subject in Turkey right now, and every so often that tension gets projected onto sport, onto the easiest, most visible target available. Vargas came in as a skilled athlete building a career, not a political statement, but that doesn't stop people from using her as one anyway. What makes it sting more is that this isn't only coming from anonymous accounts online. Ilkin Aydin herself once said, as a Turkish athlete, she would want a Turkish athlete on the court. Someone she could hold hands with and sing the national anthem alongside, not a Cuban on her team. That's not a troll hiding behind a username. That's a teammate on the record, drawing a line between who counts and who doesn't. And when a comment like that comes from inside the locker room, it hands every internet troll a kind of permission slip. Suddenly it's not just outsiders saying it. It's someone who stood next to Vargas on that court implying it, and that's the version of this that actually stings. Because it suggests the doubt isn't just coming from jealous rivals. It's coming from someone who should know exactly what she's given this team. And honestly, the double standard is what frustrates me most. Look at almost any major national team in Europe or the Americas and you'll find naturalized players, dual citizens, athletes with backgrounds from 3 different continents. And it gets celebrated as diversity, as a global game. Nobody's writing, he's not really French, under a highlight of a French outside hitter, whose parents came from Senegal. But because Turkey doesn't have that same familiar story to explain an Afro-Cuban player on the roster, some people treat her as an exception instead of the norm she actually represents. It's not consistency. It's a double standard that only shows up when it's convenient. So no, the comment isn't going away. Not because it's true, and not because there's some real debate to be had about her eligibility. It's going to keep coming back because it was never really an argument in the first place. It's a release valve. For opponents who can't stop her on the court. For critics who don't like what this team stands for. For anyone who needs a reason, any reason, to explain why the best opposite hitter in the world happens to be wearing red and white instead of their own team's jersey. Vargas didn't sneak into this. She was exiled from one home and built a new one, brick by brick, point by point, MVP trophy by MVP trophy. Turkey didn't buy a superstar. They gave a superstar somewhere to land after her own federation gave up on her. That's the actual story. Everything else is just noise from people who'd rather complain about her passport, then admit they can't touch her at the net. If you're tired of seeing that comment too, or you just want more of the real story behind this Turkey team, stick around. Subscribe to Volley Girls, because Vargas isn't going anywhere, and neither are we.